but when
Right,
she
the description.
was working in California, as I forget what role she had, but that she kept innocent people in jail.
I mean, any prosecutor would have some likelihood of there being like someone that's innocent that they prosecuted, but not knowingly. There's no circumstances where she did so knowingly.
Okay. Give me. I was gonna look that up because I don't remember the specifics. This is again something I heard um, on
Yeah,
the
I've seen no
case.
evidence indicating that.
Okay, like I said, I don't know for sure. Again, a lot of my knowledge comes from like I probably would
Here's
say
my
the
question. Why didn't you ask these questions earlier?
I asked them to them.
To like your family?
Yes,
Why didn't you check the other side or like try to hear other arguments?
probably because I didn't have really the time to.
Okay. Cool. I appreciate your description. Thank you so much. Are you saying you didn't have time at all? Like within like a year? I mean,
I'm not saying I didn't have any time. I'm saying like I did not prioritize that on my time scale
okay.
as something that was the most important for me to do. But I'm
Sure.
also on the viewpoint that I live in a very red county, so even if I would have voted for her, it would not have mattered.
I mean, you should still vote even in red counties, like because we want them to be able to change, right? Like, are
Okay.
you saying that no Republican should vote in California?
I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying it's harder for their like to feel like your vote matters.
Why does it matter if it is the case that you're on the winning side? Like, if you're in a really blue state, would you vote?
Most likely because I have the right to.
Oh, okay, so like, even if it is the case that you think it won't change very much, it's still you still want to do it, right? You still want to
Yeah.
vote. Like, if women's rights were on the ballot, would you vote?
Yes.
They were.
They actually weren't in the select, like in Texas, there was only like for candidates. There was no,
No, no. What I mean is that like Donald Trump put people in Congress or in the Supreme Court with the explicit reason of overturning Roe versus Wade, whereas Kamala Harris wanted to codify Roe versus Wade, right?
yeah, I did not know about that until it actually happened.
Which it happened like
Like a year ago or 2 years ago,
2 years
something.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah. But like when it happened, I did not know that he put people in place, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
He put three judges in the Supreme Court with the explicit reason of overturning Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, like I didn't know that until I started listening to y'all,
Hmm.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about or add real quick?
Um, not really. I just wanted to say that like I think that it's cool that you're getting on here and saying or educating people on your viewpoints or what you believe.
Absolutely. There's elections coming up in 2026. I would recommend voting then, and then also in terms of like 2028 coming up. So there's elections coming up here pretty soon. There's local stuff that I'd probably say you should get involved in if you live in like a red area.
Yeah,
If you want to.
I definitely think I should definitely do more research, especially on like the economic stuff because like I said I'm a social science major, so I don't even remember if I took an economics in college.
Hmm.
So I like don't know about like tariffs. Like first heard of tariffs from y'all.
Yeah, tariffs
Like
cause prices to go up. They decrease the size of the U.S. economy. They're pretty bad. They're like Trump says it's for increase of domestic production, but there's so many other ways that you can increase domestic production that don't have the offsets tariffs do.
yeah. And like to everyone in the comments like just because you don't do your research doesn't mean you can be uneducated in a topic and still be an educated person.
Yeah, yeah, no one's disputing that. I think what they're saying is like uneducated voting, right? Like that's probably what they're referencing. Yeah, like of course you could be educated in like social sciences and whatnot, but not be educated in politics. You know,
Yeah,
politics
and
is a
I'm
social science, though, right? Like it's within the social sciences
yes,
field.
I'm in sociology though. I'm not in political science.
Hmm.
So
I
I
mean,
like
I took social classes. They talk about politics.
yeah, they talk about it, but that's like not the like main focus
Hmm.
is like the politics of like the USA. Like I took a US history class, I took a Texas government class.
Hmm.
Do I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
everything that's
My girlfriend's a social major.
yeah, like I don't remember everything that was talked about in those classes. I don't. I
Hmm.
definitely think that I should do more research. I'm not definitely disputing that fact. I think some people don't. They get their information from other people and then they vote based on that information.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just what happened for me personally,
Sure.
because I felt like my family or the people talking were very well educated in that area.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being respectful.
Of course. Of course. All right. Let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you did vote Trump. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Yosef, how old are you?
26.
Did you vote Trump?
Sure did.
And why'd you do that?
He's a businessman.
Okay. Can you name one good businessman with 6 bankruptcies?
Want to know the repeating outcome of those 6 bankruptcies? He turned out a billionaire every single time at the end of the day.
I didn't hear a name.
A policy, you mean? No, I don't.
No, no.
I don't
I said a
really.
name. A name. Like, do you know like the name of one person that's a good businessman that has 6 bankruptcies?
Oh yeah, Donald Trump.
Is is that the only person you could come up with?
I don't really follow that. Like how many bankruptcies people really have that are billionaires? There probably is some, I guess.
6 of them?
But did he not turn out a billionaire at the end of the day every time?
And well, if you inherit $400 million from dad, I don't think that's very difficult.
He built the business up
No, he inherited businesses.
and he built it up.
Which one?
Everyone, pretty much.
Name one business he built up himself, alone.
His casino, right?
That bankrupted?
That is a
Come
billion.
on, dude. You can't. You actually. That's actually kind of
There's
like ironic
there's
that you said
there's
that.
many
That is
reasons.
really
There's many
ironic that you brought
reasons.
up one of the bankrupt businesses.
Isn't like the Trump Towers too?
Yeah. So hotels, his hotels.
Yeah,
Wow, dude, his hotels. I don't think he created those himself, like alone. I think he
he didn't.
utilized
No,
money and processes that existed within the context of the Trump business already.
it's not really his fault that he inherited a lot of money. You can't like put that
I'm
against
not saying
him.
it's his fault. What I'm saying is that it's not like, you know, some amazing thing that means he should be the next president of the United States. You know what I mean? Like you can say, yeah, it's not like something to say that's negative towards him. It's not necessarily negative against him, right? He is a billionaire, but it's not to say that he's such a great businessman he should be president.
Realistically, neither Harris or Trump were going to be the best president for this country. There's definitely better out there, but between Harris and Trump, I voted for Trump.
Yeah, so what reasons though?
Well, because I liked his 4 years better than the 4 years Harris Biden had.
Okay, like what do they do to make it better?
I actually did vote for Biden the first time, and it disappointed me a lot.
I'm asking what do they do to make it better? Trump.
Well, the economy was down, the gas prices were down, the border crossings were down.
The
Literally every
economy, you
problem
say
we
the
have
economy
today.
was down?
Oh my God, my bad. The economy was up, and
Well,
border crossings
in
were
what
down.
metric?
Just the total economy itself was good for me as
Really?
a civilian.
So GDP?
I don't know. I just saw like the
Well, real
grocery store
GDP was
prices.
lower.
Okay, but what was the better?
Grocery
Like,
prices? I mean, if you don't want grocery prices to go up, I don't know why you voted for Trump because he wants 20% universal tariffs.
Can you tell me actually why that tariffs would make it go up? I'm not like that informed on tariffs.
Yeah, so tariffs are taxes on imports into the country, and the only way that they could cause an increase in domestic production is if they increase the cost of goods that are coming into the country that are imported to be able to make it more desirable for people within the country to get American made goods, right? Which
Okay,
decreases the
so
size of the US economy, devalues the US dollar because it lowers demand on the US dollar, right?
and
Because it reduces trade with the US.
I also think that he will end up making the Ukraine Russia war come to an end, even though it's gone on way, 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 way too long.
That's kind of like a completely separate thing. Did you want to draft a reference to the tariffs first?
We can, if I'm not informed enough to say whether they're a good thing or a bad thing. You kind of are, so I'm going to just take your word for that. But that's there's different reasons across the board, and I like abortions. I don't want abortions to just be. I don't like. I think they should be legal, but not up to the states.
That's what Trump wants to do, is leave it up to the states.
Yes, that's what I
That's what he
want to
did
happen.
do. Okay, well, it sounded like you didn't want that to happen. Did you know that after viability, it's left up to the states under Roe versus Wade?
I want less abortions to happen. At the end of the day, that's what I want.
So then why
That's
didn't you
my goal.
support like making socioeconomic conditions better to reduce the likelihood of people getting abortions rather than voting for someone who wants to make it illegal in certain states?
So didn't Harris Waltz want abortion to be legal everywhere?
They want it to be federally legal prior to viability.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, like at the end of the day, I look at the term that both of them had, even though Harris was only a VP. Trump, I just think had a better 4 years. I think yeah.
Yeah, but you can't tell me what he did that made it better. Like,
I don't really care what he
you
did to
brought
make
up
it better.
like
I just
low
care that it was
prices. You
better.
know, there were lower prices under Obama, right?
Yeah, and I would have voted for Obama in this election if I could.
Okay, but that there were lower prices under Jimmy Carter. Would you have voted for Jimmy Carter?
I'm not informed enough on Jimmy Carter.
Okay. So just because there's lower prices doesn't mean that they're a better candidate, right?
Yeah, I also like Trump, how he doesn't give up and how he keeps moving. Like he had two assassination attempts in like the span of 4 months, and he just didn't care.
Okay.
Kept
Um,
moving
yeah, so two assassination attempts. I just don't understand how that's like relevant to why you'd vote for him. He's not
because he
like
actually cares. He's already rich.
he cares. He cares?
He
Really?
cares. Didn't he donate? Don't didn't he donate?
What policy did he
Did,
pass that benefit the middle class more than to benefit rich people? He cares?
he he cares. Like you can't even say he doesn't care. He donated all his presidential money last year or last
Wrong.
term. He didn't.
Wrong. He 30%.
3%.
30%.
Okay, that's still a lot though.
What? He's literally a billionaire.
How much did Biden donate?
He's not a billionaire.
Okay, but you still 30% is a lot of the president's salary is crazy. Like that's a lot of
What?
money. Harris also like what
What?
is it? seven hundred
What do you
dollars.
wait.
Seven hundred
Are
dollars
you
to the
I'm sorry. You're saying that 100 like what, $150,000 a year is a lot of money? Okay, Trump could do that times literally like 100,000 every
yeah,
year.
and then that's like that, but that's better than Harris saying she would give like $700 to the Florida hurricane deal, and that's kind of a slap in the face
That's
for
the
them.
max amount they could legally because Republicans voted to cap it.
So she can't donate any more than $750 of her own money.
Nope, that's Congress.
That, so she can't even donate any more than $700.
Nope.
That's crazy.
That is the max amount allotted by law.
Um, that It's crazy. I never heard of that. That's actually wild to hear that. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, $700 to a hurricane as a. All right.
Well, you would have been really sad about what happened under Trump's administration because not only did they get less, but Trump also blocked 13 to 20 billion dollars of recovery funding for Puerto Rico right after Hurricane Maria. He said that he wouldn't give California help with their fires because they didn't vote for him, and then was only convinced of doing that once he heard how many Republicans voted for him in the state.
Well, that is. Is there a reason behind that other than just because of the voting?
Nope.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
Huh. I in Waltz, I hated him as a VP. I thought that the Republicans had a kind, nice VP because Trump is not. It's obvious he's just not a good guy. But I think Vance is more, and I like.
He's not a good guy, yet you
Yeah,
voted for him.
no, yes, and I did. Yeah,
Yes.
I like
I
JD
voted for like the
Vance.
terrible guy. I voted for the guy I think is so terrible.
I don't think he's that bad.
Okay, you don't think
He
sexual
just
abuse
says
is
a
that
lot of.
bad?
He just okay. If he for sure did it, and there was evidence, like straight, like undisputable, 100% guaranteed.
Indisputable. It is he's held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. Would you
I
let
know
someone held
that.
civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman get access to a gun?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that legal right now?
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that the way it is right now?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? You think they should be able to get a gun. So do you think people held civilly liable of sexually abusing children should be able to get a gun?
So, children. No, I think they should be able to if it's just civilly liable
They
because
should
that's
be
just a
so they
fine.
should
That's
be
just
able to get
paying up.
access to a gun if they're held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child. Okay, should they be able to be a gym teacher?
I don't think we have to worry about Donald Trump trying to be a gym teacher.
No, I'm just asking. Would you like trust someone held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, right, in being a gym teacher?
Personally, as if I was to hire them, I would not hire them. But if other schools
Why
want to
not?
do that, then they could. Just for my own personal thoughts and not having to be scared about that, just because there has been
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
issues. So,
Hmm. How come
but
you didn't
that's
think
all.
about that with presidency? Push the team victory.
I mean, because gym teacher and the president is a bit different.
Yeah, president has more influence.
I know.
Yeah, president has influence over tens of millions of Americans.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to be the better candidate. And if you think Biden did good, do you think he did good?
Better than Trump?
Do you think he did good? That doesn't answer my question.
No.
Okay.
Do I think he did better than basically every other president in history? Like him along with Obama did better than basically every other president throughout history.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I think he did good though. Like I heavily disagree with specifically right his policy in terms of foreign policy. Now his domestic policy was good.
Who do you think did better, Obama or Biden? If you think Biden is the second best president in history, shouldn't Trump's term just be a breeze? Everything should be set up for him. He should look great.
No, just because people don't think that he's good or in terms of voting for him because they attribute inflation to the incumbent president doesn't mean that it's not doesn't mean that it's like his fault. But yeah, I don't know who I would grant the number one position, either Obama or Biden.
Okay, I think Obama did better personally by a landslide, but yeah,
Well, I mean, there actually was more legislation passed with Biden, right? There was
yeah,
lots of bipartisan legislation. Now, Obama was very socially impactful in the nation. So I would say that
yeah.
Obama has a significantly greater social impact,
I
right?
think that Biden just wasn't there.
Biden might have more of a policy impact.
I think that Biden just wasn't there mentally, and I think Trump is. I think Obama was, and I think if like what you're saying,
Okay. What about Biden indicates that to you?
are you serious?
Yeah, like
He
quality.
literally he can't really form a sentence. He can't walk upstairs,
I
and
mean, well,
he's
Trump
really
can't really form sentences.
he can he can do it better than Biden at least.
Wait, okay, so,
He
but
has he has said and he has taken
does Trump
cognitive
incoherently ramble?
tests from time. Yeah, I guess, but so does Biden.
Who rambles more?
Biden for sure.
Oh no, I say it's absolutely Trump.
Okay. Biden has literally said that he's mistook Vladimir Putin with the president of Ukraine. That is terrible.
Okay.
That is
Is
actually
that like an
harmful.
incoherent rambling, or is that like just like you mistake the two?
You can't make those mistakes as a
We were
president.
evaluating who incoherently rambles more.
Yeah, you can't make those mistakes as a president.
We can talk about like mistakes Trump's made. Trump mistook specifically Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley.
Okay, that's not as big of a deal as
What?
that's not as big of a deal.
I think he knows who those two people are.
Yeah, I think Biden knows who Putin and Zelensky are.
Uh huh. So what's the relevant
And
difference?
Putin is destroying Ukraine and like killing multiple people.
And let's give him more power.
It is why what? Why,
Yeah.
who argued to give Putin more power?
Trump.
He said that Putin should have more power.
Well, his policy does that.
How is that?
Well, he specifically isn't as pro defending NATO or getting NATO to like help out Ukraine. His vice president doesn't give a shit what's going on in Ukraine. He's actively talked about rolling back efforts in support of Ukraine. Yeah, that's the reason. Jaron, I can't hear you.
The relationship was better under him with Trump in office.
Said the relationship was better. Okay. What indicates that to you? Is that because
He
Putin
wasn't
like
sparking a
thinks
war.
that?
And
Is that because Putin thinks that like Trump is more easily manipulated? Maybe.
could be.
Oh,
He might think that,
so
but I think
so them
I
having
don't
that
know
type
that
of
not
relationship
for
isn't
sure.
necessarily good.
Not for sure. Obviously, Trump isn't just going to let not Trump or the people working with Trump as the president are going to let Putin, just do whatever he
I have a
wants,
question.
walk all
During World
over.
War II, would you want good relations with Hitler?
Well, as an ally, they were a powerful country, but I would not want good relations with them. I would want to be enemies with them, though.
Okay,
We
so
were
why do
we
you want
were
good
also
relations with Putin?
we were in World War II allies. We had a
Why
good
do you want
relation with.
good relations with Putin?
Would you rather have good relations with Putin or bad relations with Putin? Tell me that.
Well, would you rather have good relations with Hitler or bad relations with Hitler?
I'd want to be on the same page and agreeing on
Well,
that.
answer the question: good or
Nothing out
bad
of
with Hitler?
sure good, because if it's bad, then bad things can happen, and we saw that.
This guy wants good relations with Adolf Hitler.
Are you okay? Shut up. Like actually, that's crazy. No,
That's what
I
you just
just
said. That's what you
wouldn't. I
just said.
wouldn't. I wouldn't want
Me to
things to
shut
get
up?
out of hand. I wouldn't want things to get out of hand like they did. I
Oh,
would want to
okay.
be on the
What
same
do you mean?
page. I want.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by you want to be on the same? You
I
want to be
would
on the
want.
same page as Hitler?
Oh my god! I would want to like mutually agree that nothing crazy is gonna happen here. All right, that would be my
What do you
goal,
mean
and to
by
not
that?
spark a war. Literally anything to not spark World War II, which we failed of.
Okay, so would you? I have a
Because,
question. I have a question.
well,
Would you
how about you?
specifically,
Would you want
in the
good? Would
context
you
of
want
scenario where Russia invades Ukraine, what would you do?
as a president?
Yeah. Would you have defended Ukraine?
Yes.
Yeah. How so? Would you have done the same thing Biden did? Do you
No.
think Trump would have done that?
I don't think it would have happened under Trump.
So Trump would not have defended Ukraine?
I don't think there would have been a war in Ukraine.
Mm. But given that it did happen, would you?
Would
And Anna,
I
thank you so much for the
I would
$3. Thank you. What's up?
I, can I ask you a question? Like same question to you. Would you want good relations with Hitler or bad relations with Hitler?
Yeah, I wouldn't want good relations with him.
Would you want bad or good? Yeah, you made me answer the question.
Bad.
Bad relations? Oh my God. Yeah, then World War II happens and millions of people die, like we already saw happen,
Wait,
and
wait,
millions of.
wait. Oh, okay. So you want good relations with Hitler?
I want there to be a mutual agreement where nothing crazy is going to happen here. We don't have to agree. We don't have to. We just stay out of war. That would be
Damn,
my
that's
that would be my concept.
yeah. You say stay out of war, right? Yeah. You're not
So
really
war is
giving
not
like
good.
yeah. That's not good relations necessarily. Just because you're not at war with them doesn't mean you have good relations.
I wouldn't. I would want mutual relations.
What does that mean? Chat. Why are people spamming Venmo?
He would want. I would personally want him to agree with me that there would be no shenanigans, no wars, and I would. But if I would have wanted to have bad relations if
Chat.
he
Stop
didn't.
telling me to spam. Look, check Venmo. Please stop. I will just turn off the chat. I don't know why people are spamming that without telling me why.
Yeah, I would want to agree that. But if he was doing what he was doing to the Jewish population, I would have tried to help. Like what ended up happening, but I would not want bad relations with Hitler because that's not going to end
Chat,
well. Whether
no
he,
one sent $100 on Venmo. I'm literally looking at my Venmo right now. No one sent $100. Sorry, go for it.
yeah, you would want bad relations with the top three, if not top one, most powerful country in the world that has no marbles and doesn't give a
No,
fuck. Is that what you would
I
want?
don't want good relations with like murderous dictators.
Would you want bad relations with probably the
Yes.
most powerful country in the world
Yes,
that doesn't give a fuck and
I
will?
would love bad relations with murderous dictators because that tells me that I'm doing the right thing. Because murderous dictators will like you if you do what they want, if you do their bidding. They're not going to like you if you don't do their bidding.
Yeah, well, that's kind of crazy because then sometimes doing the right thing isn't always the best thing. You don't have to have good relations, but if you have bad enough relations, then World War II starts and a lot of people die. Is that what you want? Because that's what ended up happening by your
Okay,
argument.
are you saying that you would have led to like World War II not happening? That's crazy and delusional. Okay, the reason why World
No,
War II
no,
was
I'm not saying
happening.
that. I'm
Why
not
did
saying
World War
that.
II happen? Tell me.
Well, we joined because of the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
I'm asking. No, Germany declared war on us. All right, so you understand that World War II happened not just because of the United States. World War II
No, I
happened.
know that.
World War II happened because of the invasion of a bunch of different countries in Europe. Right, like they were invading Poland, and the invasion of Poland sparked it. So you want good relations with a country that's invading like half of Europe? Like, what are you
Oh,
talking
how about
about?
this? How about this? Do you agree with the
Why?
United
What
States
doesn't even
being?
make any sense, right? How many
Do you,
countries do they have to invade for you to be like, oh, I don't want a good relationship with them anymore? Like, when do you draw the line?
I never said I wanted a good relationship with them.
You
I said
did.
I wanted to have a mutual agreement of no,
What does that mean?
a mutual agreement that we were just going to not have wars. How
Like
about
the
that?
Budapest
And if there
Memorandum?
was, that is different.
We signed
That's
an agreement
saying giving up
with
nuclear
Russia that if they
weapons.
gave up their nuclear, or I mean, that if Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them. And you want to know what happened? We defended them.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Do you agree with that? We were allies with the Russians in World War II because their leader was a dictator, and their leader was arguably almost not as bad, but almost as bad as Hitler was. Do you agree that to be allies with them? Because if we weren't allies with
No,
them, we probably
I
wouldn't have
don't.
a country anymore.
That is such a ridiculous statement. I would not want to be allies with Stalin. Push the beating heart. Thank you so
So
much.
you disagree that we did that? You disagree with that? What we
Yes,
did?
I absolutely. What?
Yes,
Why would I? Why
and
would I
I also
agree
agree.
with?
I wouldn't
Why would I
want to.
agree with being allies with a country that commits mass genocide, right? And a country that, right, is literally committing war crimes like that. Obviously, I would disagree with that.
You know how different me and your life would be if back in World War II we weren't allies with them, because that would have made it a lot tougher for us, and
You can
it
say
might
whatever
it
you want. I don't care if you would say that it would have made it tougher for us. Do you not have like the ability to be like, oh, I don't want to support murderous dictators, or like I don't know, I can't just ignore
not
like
supporting
Holodomor.
them, not supporting them, and saving your country for a very very long time, and saving a lot of lives for a very very long time is two different things.
Okay, again, you said that specifically engaging with the Soviet Union did save things. You can't make a claim like that. You can't make a claim that it would have saved
Is it a
lives.
wrong claim?
Well, you
What?
can't. It's not a justified claim.
If we were not allies with them and they wanted war with us, it would have been very bad.
What do you mean? What
Let's
was
put
the
it that
Cold
way.
War?
Cold War was not a lethal war.
What are you talking about? Tell that to people in Vietnam. Are you serious? Are you
Vietnam's
trolling?
different.
Are you kidding? Do you actually
What?
believe that it wasn't a deadly war? Tell that to the people living in Afghanistan. Right?
Yeah,
Tell that
well,
to the people living
Afghanistan, that's a
around
whole
the
different type of
world
war.
in
That's a whole different type
countries.
of war.
Tell
It's a
that
whole
to
different
people
type of
living
war between whole
in the
different
Korean
countries.
Peninsula. Are you
These
insane?
are different type of wars. My grandpa was a
What do you
colonel
mean
in
they're different
Vietnam. You
type
don't
of
think I
wars?
know?
Right? They're still, are they
They're
deadly? Yes or
between different
no?
countries. They
Are
are
they
deadly.
deadly?
There's people being killed, so they
Was
are.
the Cold War deadly?
Was there people being killed?
Yes.
Yes, it was deadly.
You said it was not a lethal war. What are you talking about,
Yeah,
dude?
wait, did I actually?
Tell me you don't know anything about history without telling me you know nothing about history.
I was thinking of the. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. I look stupid. My bad. I was thinking of the different war. My bad.
What war were you thinking of, bro?
That war between us and Russia, where things were getting a little chippy, but there was nobody like getting killed. I
What war
forgot the
was
name of it.
that? I think you're thinking of the Cold War, right? But that's not,
Yeah,
the Cold War did have lethality within it.
it caused to lethality.
Yeah, like people died. Millions of people died in the Cold War. Okay, it wasn't a direct war, but it was indirect war, right?
No,
Which
yeah, I'm
still
saying
had
like there's
lethal
different
elements.
wars that sparked because of it. I know that. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that like the Vietnam War was that was a lethal war. That's a different war from the Cold War.
Okay, so what's your point here, right? Do you think that like I'm really confused. Do you think that like you would want good relations with the Soviet Union, right? With a murderous dictator like Stalin?
If they were protecting us, and it made the people of our now okay. I would want to mutually agree again that we would protect each other, but we weren't going to be friends, which is kind of what happened. Because there's nothing wrong with protecting each other. That's just helping your own citizens in your own country and the children of your country
You're
forever.
saying you're helping how so?
Because the country today could look a lot different if we weren't being protected with them and we didn't team up against Germany.
Did you know that they were still at war with Germany without allyship with the United States?
I know at one
So
point
so then what's the argument?
we helped quite a bit at
Oh,
the
okay,
end
wait. So how did they help us being our ally?
because it might have looked different if it was just us versus Germany and Japan at the same time.
Wait,
It would have been
Russia
tough.
Russia was also against them, and also what about the UK?
Yes, I know. The UK helped too, but
What about the non-governmental figures within the context of France?
I'm saying the main two people we were at war at, and the main two countries we had boots on were Japan and Germany. Those were the main ones.
Japan and Germany. Yeah, what's your point? You're not actually
I'm saying
responding
that.
to
I'm
the.
saying that. I'm saying that. Like, if it was just us versus Germany and Russia and the Soviet Union wasn't helping us out, we would have been. We might have been
Wait, when you
cooked.
say helping us out, what do you
That
mean?
means like we were invading from one side, they were invading from the other side,
Yeah, they were
and it
at war
was
with Germany regardless. Okay, before we had
yes,
allyship, they specifically had that.
yes, I know, but if it was if they were not associated with us and we didn't have any help from them, and they were not also attacking Germany, we could have been higher on the chopping block, and we could have been more of the main priority there, and we could have got pummeled.
Oh, so
And
you're saying that the Soviet Union would have declared war on the United States?
no,
So then, what's your point? What are you saying? What did we
I'm
get
saying
out of
that they helped
allyship with
us. They
them?
helped us. They helped us in the war. Win the war.
How? How did them being allies with us help us win the war?
Because they helped us. They played a big, huge role in beating Germany.
Okay, they were doing that regardless of whether or not we were allies with them.
Yes, I know. But do you think if they were not attacking Germany and they were a non-factor, it would have turned out differently?
They were attacking Germany regardless. They were already at war with them. I already described this.
Yes, I know. I'm saying that they
So what are you
helped us.
talking about?
Are you saying
How
they?
does
Are you
our
saying they didn't
how
help
did our
us? Are you saying they
allyship?
didn't help us? Are
Yeah,
you saying they didn't help
I
us?
don't think us being allies with them helped us.
So you think we shouldn't have been allies with them?
Yes.
And you okay?
Yeah,
Well,
we should
that's
not have been allies with the Soviet Union.
it's a pretty good. It's a pretty powerful country to have in your back pocket if things go south.
Okay,
That's all I'm
how
gonna
did they
say.
help us as allies? How did them being allies in specific help us?
It's a safety net.
What safety net? What are you talking
It's a
about, dude?
safety net. If we were getting beat pretty badly, we would have had a safety net in them.
Okay, so there's no actual argument, right? You just said
It's a
essentially just like
safety net.
vibes. What do you mean? What safety net? What safety net?
If we were to start losing very, very badly, which fortunately did not happen, if we were to start losing very, very badly and things were going really, really bad, which kind of happened to Japan in the war, we would have them as a safety net to not let us getting like taken over land and territory and stuff like that. They would have been a safety net that would help us with that. They were an ally that helped us with that. They wouldn't have let anything like that happen to us,
They wouldn't
or at
have
least they would.
let us be like invaded.
Yes.
We weren't going to be invaded. That's not
Why do
even.
you say
That's not
that?
even like. You think the U.S. was going to be invaded?
So,
Do you know
I
how
mean,
geographically hard it is to invade the United States of America?
I do, but Hitler didn't really give a shit. He invaded everything and anywhere.
You think that Hitler would have been able to do right if we weren't allies of the Soviet Union? You think Hitler would have invaded mainland United States?
If he would have beat Russia, and then he would have kept spreading and spreading and
Beat
spreading.
Russia.
Because
What makes you think he would have beat Russia?
I'm saying hypothetically, if he would have eventually kept spreading. That was his plan. He wanted to literally take over the world,
I understand, but how
and to take over the
did the
world, you have
Soviet
to take over
Union being our?
America.
I understand that's what specifically he wanted.
So he wanted to invade us, and they would not have
Yeah,
let that happen.
wanting to do it doesn't mean he could have. What?
Yeah, and why do you think he couldn't? Because of the Soviet Union.
No, because of the geographical location and strength of the United States military. What are you talking about?
They were stronger than us back then.
That is delusional. What are you talking
Are you
about?
saying they weren't?
They were absolutely not. What?
They were at first before they started like attacking everything in sight.
Really? 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 What indicated that to you?
Because it's just known they were
It's just known.
pummeling everybody, and their
Jaron, Jaron, I'm
strategies
sorry. This is a terrible argument.
their strategies were better.
What
They
strategies?
had
You mean declaring war on both the Soviet Union and the United States of America? That's a great strategy. Are you
no, they're
trolling?
war strategies, not
Yeah, that's a
not who
war
they declared
strategy,
war
Jaron.
on, not that
That's
specific
war
one.
strategy. Who you declare war on is
Oh
war
my fucking
strategy,
god!
Jaron.
I'm not talking about that strategy. I'm talking about
What the?
they
You can't
had.
just ignore that strategy. What are you talking about? If you're talking about strategy, we'd have to reference their strategy.
Actually, it is said that They didn't want to declare war on us then and there. Japan just did it, and then they had to declare war on
They did
us.
not
They
have to
didn't.
declare war on us.
They were allies with Japan. That's a mutual agreement upon allies.
And
You
if you
declare
don't, one, you don't have to do that too, as it relates to
this
this.
the mutual agreement.
Went against mutual agreements all the time, right? Like I don't
So
know
you're
why
saying
that's a relevant factor for Nazi Germany, who literally what? Do you remember the agreement he made with Chamberlain?
I do not remember completely what.
Okay, so they set up an agreement. They said peace in our time. That wasn't peace in our time. What are you talking about? He made it. He made an agreement with the Soviet Union. Oh, we're not going to fight each other. What the did
Yeah,
he
but
do?
Japan was
He
helping them as
literally did that.
allies. What?
He literally invaded the Soviet Union. What are you talking about?
Japan was helping us as helping them as an ally, so they would have probably
So was this?
repaid the
Wait, the
favor.
Soviet Union also set up a ceasefire agreement with them. What are you talking about?
So you're saying that they wouldn't have defended
I'm
Japan?
saying they did not have to do that.
They
Now, the
would have
point that
though.
I'm making, the
Everybody
point that
knows they would have.
they did not have to declare in that circumstance.
Yeah,
But
we don't have.
I
Oh
can
my
give you another
god,
example. Even if you
we
don't
don't
want to
have
believe
to keep
that,
the world
even if you don't
unnuked
want to believe that, why did he declare war on the Soviet Union before he defeated the UK?
because so they were weren't they at war with Soviet Union's allies, and they were
Huh?
spreading them, and they eventually wanted to take over the Soviet Union, and they wanted
They eventually
Soviet.
wanted to, but that doesn't mean that they had to invade. That doesn't mean they'd have to go through Operation Barbarossa and invade the Soviet Union. That makes no sense, right? That would have been it would have been significantly better, right?
Because the
War
Soviet Union
strategy
knew it was
to
up, and they knew
no, they
they were
didn't.
gonna
No, they
eventually have
didn't.
to fight them.
Stalin literally believed Hitler. Stalin believed that there was peace
How do you know that? How do you
because
know deep
we
down?
have his documentation from what he said, right? And did you not pay attention in history class?
No, I paid attention in history class, but they knew eventually they were gonna have to fight. Like they at one point in time they didn't think that, but eventually
You
they
could say
knew.
eventually maybe, but that doesn't mean that he invades them then. The point I'm critiquing is not that he invaded them at all, right, in terms of war strategy. The point I'm critiquing is specifically the fact that he did it early, right? Insofar as that it reduced his likelihood of being able to literally take over Europe. Like he easily would have been able to mollywop, right, the entirety of Europe if he just waited.
Okay, that's fine, but they Russia or Soviet Union didn't want Germany to take over all this stuff, or else they're just becoming more powerful, and they're becoming
Then why
and
did they
more
do a
of a threat.
ceasefire agreement?
I don't know, why are you asking me that? So it's not something I know.
Okay, so you should like go read history before you like make such confident claims and like why we need allyship with the Soviet Union, right?
Yeah,
Literally,
hey, we
who
should rock no allies. We should rock no
I
allies.
never said no allies. What I said is that it doesn't make
We should not be allies
what
with
I'm
Israel.
saying. I agree. We shouldn't. Jaren, nice point. I totally agree.
We shouldn't be allies. Yeah, okay. That would have changed the outcome of the
Wow,
world.
dude,
That would
you
have
ran
changed the
right
outcome of
into
the
the
world.
point. Oh my god, no way.
That would have changed the history of the world. Like actually,
I
if
don't care.
well, okay, that's kind of wild. You don't care if it would have
Jaren,
changed the history of the world
would you
in
have nuked
Hitler's favor. You
would
don't
you
care
have
that it would
nuked
have changed the
Japan?
history of the
Jaren, would you have nuked Japan? Hiroshima and Nagasaki, would you have nuked
uh,
them?
being Japan was so confident they weren't going to give up and they were just going to let all their civilians die to the United States. Yes, it actually ended up saving lives
So you have no evidence that it saved lives. One, two, as it
because
relates to
Japan was
this.
getting their civilians to they fight to the death, fight to the countries until they don't have one
Yeah,
anymore.
that was the propaganda, right? That was claimed. They were willing to accept an agreement prior to a land invasion as long as they were able to keep Hirohito in a position of cultural significance, which is what happened anyway. Like, what are you talking about? You understand the agreement we had with them allowed for Hirohito to have access to cultural significance and to stay in that cultural idea of power, right? In the
Agreements
same
don't
sort of
mean
way
much
there are
until you
kings
already.
in the UK. What's that? And queens in the UK. What's that?
Oh, agreements are sometimes broken in World War. Agreements aren't something that you can be confident with completely in World War. That's been known.
What
That's
the fuck
been
are you talking about? That's how we ended the war. It was an agreement. Where's the turkey face? What are you talking
how we
about?
ended the war was nuking their country.
Us upholding agreements. We're not the Soviet Union. We're not Nazi Germany. All right?
We ending the war with Japan was by nuking them. They would have not have gave up if we didn't nuke them. They said they were not going to give up. Even after we nuked them the first time, they said, no, we're not giving up. So we had to do it again. They were not going to give up if we
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think there's
So I
sufficient
do
of enough
agree.
historical evidence to indicate that.
I do agree that I do agree nuking them was the right decision, even though it shouldn't have came to that. If that answers your question about if I would want to nuke them.
So you agree with nuking people? That's insane, dude.
What the
Like
hell?
you're
Would you have
talking about
not? Would
nuking.
you have not? Would you have just
No,
let everybody die like completely?
dude. You think that not nuking them would have led everyone dying?
They were
You
gonna
have
have
no
their
good evidence.
civilians fight to the
Listen,
death with
Jaren,
pitchforks.
Jaren,
Everyone was gonna die in that country.
Jaren,
Jesus Christ!
Jaren. You are f***ing wrong. Okay, you have no good evidence indicating that more people would have died if it were the case that we did not nuke them. You have no good evidence indicating that. That's just an assumed notion that you have because you were taught throughout the entire of your life that it was justified that we nuked them. That's what you were taught, okay? And I'm telling
So
you, there are different perspectives on the matter. You are
American
insane
soldiers
for
are gonna continue to die.
what's up?
Japan soldiers are gonna continue to die. Civilians are gonna continue to die. There was gonna be war camp.
So you want to slaughter innocent civilians by utilizing nukes?
I'm not okay. I agree nuking Japan, but I would have not nuked those cities. I would have nuked more. I would not have nuked the places that would have killed as many civilians. I would have still nuked them.
Okay, where would you have nuked?
Um, I would have dropped one nuke on Tokyo, and I would have done it right where their. I would find out where their president is, and I would take out their president.
Hirohito.
I would.
Isn't that what they indicated would have caused
I'm
mass
probably gonna
cultural backlash that would have led to more deaths? What are you talking about, dude?
because I didn't want. Okay, if they didn't do that, more civilian lives were gonna end, more soldiers' lives were gonna end,
Again,
and
what
it
evidence do
would
you
have
have
just
of that?
kept going. Oh, because they would have still been at war if they
Okay,
didn't
that
nuke
doesn't
them.
mean that there would have been
They
more
were
than
not
what
gonna give
died
up.
through the
They were not
context
gonna
of
give
the
up.
Tokyo fire bombings, the Nagasaki nuke, right, and the other nuke, right? So what are you talking about?
It was known they were not gonna give up. Everybody knows that Japan wasn't gonna give up without the nuke. If they're not gonna give up, people are gonna keep dying. That's just how it is. You can't say I'm wrong either.
I can. I've
They,
already given you a response to this. You got violent behaviors and criminal activities. I think it's because he advocated for literally nuking people. So, crazy, crazy.